Well, good Monday evening, everyone. Todd Warren here on Facebook Live tonight. Also, just a reminder that starting now, I will be recording these live updates, and they will be appearing in the KTAL Now app, which is available on the Fire Stick and all the other streaming devices that you could find. So if you're watching from that, I record this at 8:30 Monday through Thursday, and if you want to ask a question, which I will do my best to answer, you can watch along live on my Facebook page, Todd Warren Weather. All right, coming up tonight, this is what we're looking at. We are going to be looking at conditions across the ArkLaTex that will be staying cool here this week. We'll see a shot of rain Wednesday and again on Friday, and it looks like a major surge of Arctic air is coming down out of Canada late this week. We'll start to see and feel it as we move into the weekend, and that cold is going to change Friday's rain over to winter precipitation. And we're going to see every possible scenario of that winter precipitation. And coming up tonight, I'll have the details on, first of all, a little bit of a look at timing, and we'll talk about the various scenarios. It's going to be a very complex situation. A lot will depend on how quickly we make the change from the freezing rain to sleet and snow. Obviously, the best case scenario would be for it to be all snow, but that's not going to be the case. We're going to be dealing with some ice and the problems that that ice can sometimes bring, and I'll show you the latest numbers and all that coming up. One thing, too, this is going to be similar to Snowmageddon back in 2021 in that it's going to get very cold at the tail end of this. It does look like we will start to warm above freezing, however, a bit quicker than we did back in Snowmageddon 1.0. Anyway, I'll be discussing that as well. If you have a question or a comment, feel free to ask away. If you just want to say hello, Todd, that's great too, as we usually try to start things off by saying hello to everyone. And usually Brian is first to say hello, and that is the case tonight. Hello there, Brian. Chris, hello to you. David and Idabelle, hello to you. Bonnie, greetings to you. Lewis, good evening. Austin in Plano, Texas. It is coming, Austin. Probably more than ice. It's going to be everything. Misty, good evening. Rusty, I'm going to do just that. Hang in there. Gary, hello. Drew, you will get more snow than we will. I'll put it that way, Drew. It's not going to be like 2021. I kind of think I called it at one point today, Snowmageddon Light. It's going to be similar, but not as extreme, especially in terms of the cold. Will I be live during? That is a good question, Bonnie, that I cannot answer at this time. Someone else will have to pull the trigger to make that happen. Carol, hello. We'll get to that. Gary, Norm is here from Palm Springs. Hello there, Norm. We just had an earthquake there in Palm Springs. I'm glad you're okay, though, there, Gary. Eric, hello. 32 degrees in his neighborhood there west of the ArkLaTex. Dylan, Casey, hello. It has been a while. Lee, greetings. Big crowd tonight, as you might expect. Jared, hello. Stephen. That thought did occur to me. I think I've made the point the last couple of winters. We're going on a quarter century since the last big ice storm. This could be one. We'll see. All right, let's get going. Got lots to cover, and you can see that today was a pretty nice day on this Martin Luther King Jr. Day. 63 degrees was the high in Shreveport as well as in Marshall. The warm spot in Longview at 64 made it to 59 for the daytime high this afternoon in Texarkana. Here in the next couple of days, we're going to be watching this impulse kind of swing around the base of this broad trough. And as a result, we'll see the clouds move in tomorrow night and the rain move in late tomorrow night into Wednesday. So let's take a look at the national map here, and you can see how this will play out as we take it through into pretty much through the rest of the work week. And you can see that as we move through tomorrow, probably will stay with a partly cloudy sky. Here comes the disturbance, which is going to squeeze out some showers for us as it skirts its way through the area late tomorrow night into Wednesday. Doesn't look like we'll have anything to worry about as far as severe weather, as temperatures Wednesday probably will be in the 50s. We'll see that frontal system push through. The rain will probably come to an end for most of us Wednesday night, and then Thursday looking mostly cloudy, and you can see the next area of low pressure gathering itself. At the same time, there's going to be this big Arctic high, which is going to be coming into the upper Midwest. Just looking at some of the models over the weekend, I noticed lows 20 to 30 below zero up here in the Northeast around the Great Lakes. It is going to be brutally cold. And we're going to see a piece of that here, although obviously not that cold. And I don't think we'll be as cold as we were back in 2021 when with Snowmageddon, when we hit one above in Shreveport. But you can see heading into Friday morning, we start off as rain, and as the colder air begins to move in, Futurecast does show a possible changeover to a little bit sooner than most models, late Friday afternoon over the northern half of the area. So let's take a look at Futurecast here, and you'll see how this plays out for the next couple of days. And again, tomorrow looks pretty nice. We'll see the clouds and the rain begin to increase tomorrow night into Wednesday. Kind of doubt we'll have any thunder, and really doesn't look like a whole lot as far as rain for most areas. This latest run of Futurecast has kind of delayed the ending of the rain to Thursday morning, but we will see drier conditions late Thursday. You can see Thursday night into Friday morning, more rain begins to develop. Notice the colors here: blue is snow, pink is mix. And in this case, probably, if Futurecast is correct, that probably would be a sleet. Now, you're seeing that mix head south. This is probably a bit premature because temperatures Friday, most models show that we will be in the 50s. So I'm not quite buying this changeover this quickly based on what most models are showing, but we will see the changeover begin to take shape Friday night. As far as rainfall potential, this latest run of Futurecast is very aggressive. Now, this goes out to Friday, so this includes the tail end of what you just saw with Futurecast. So this is all rain, and it does show an inch to, in some spots, 3 inches possible during that time frame. All right, so that's what it looks like in the short term in the rain aspect of things. Now, let me cover what is potentially on the way this weekend. And again, what's going to happen is we're going to see, again, the rain Wednesday. And again, this is the GFS model, but the colors, the precipitation is what the model blend is putting out. And in this case, the greens or yellows and oranges or liquid, on top of that is where you can see the blend has the changeover to mix, be it sleet and or freezing rain, and then the blues are all snow. All right, so you can see by 7 a.m. Saturday that changeover has pretty much completed itself over most of the ArkLaTex. What's happening is we have this big upper level low, which is creating this southwesterly flow over the top of that cold air mass. And what's going to be happening here is that we'll have a wedge of cold air come in. At the beginning, it's going to be very shallow, but as we go through Saturday, the depth of that cold air mass is going to be increasing. And as that increasing that depth occurs, we will see that gradual changeover to the winter precipitation type. So again, we start off all rain. The cold air begins to arrive near the surface. Temperature drops to 32 and below. We change over to freezing rain. That cold air gets deeper, so that liquid, that rain that falls, all right, has time to refreeze. It starts off with snow, melts, and then has time to refreeze because the cold air near the surface is deep enough. And of course, in those areas where we make the complete changeover, it's cold all the way up to where it originates. So the big question is, how quickly will we see this change take place? If it takes place slower, we will get more ice, which would be bad. If it changes more quickly, we will get more sleet and snow, which would be something similar to what we experienced back in 2021. All right, let's get to specifics. And these two graphics you're going to see here are the most likely scenario in terms of freezing rain or ice accumulation and sleet snow accumulation. The sleet and snow would be total put together, okay? So you can see the freezing rain, we start to see power issues when the numbers get up at or above 1/4 of an inch. And you can see most likely we will see that in this darker pink area. Basically, everybody south of Interstate 30 will have that capability of seeing at least 1/4 of an inch of ice. Snow, this is what it looks like from the model blend. Now, there's going to be a new run, which is going to be coming in here fairly shortly. I will show that during the newscast at 9 as well as at 10. I'm going to try to enter the worst case numbers, which probably I will have in time for the second main weather hit in the 9. I don't think I'll have time to do it for the first one because I usually come in pretty close to 9 o'clock. But anyway, you can see the model blend shows it's likely we get an inch or two near and north of the Arkansas-Louisiana line. Again, that's a combination of sleet and snow, and then less than an inch further to the south. Now, if this is all snow, we are going to get a lot of it with the liquid that is projected by some of the models. But again, there's going to be some sleet mixed in. It doesn't pile up as efficiently as snow does. All right, let's get to the possible ranges here. And the model blend creates, again, what I just showed you. The green numbers are basically what I just showed you. The red numbers represent the worst case scenario that we could see, both, first of all, here, freezing rain, and then secondly, I'll show you the snow. So if, I mentioned this earlier, if we see a very slow changeover, a very slow thickening of that cold wedge, then we'll get closer to the red numbers than the green numbers. And the red numbers are a little bit scary. You can see a half an inch to an inch of ice accumulation would be a possibility. Now, what are the chances of getting that much? 10% or less. So it's the chances of seeing those red numbers are very slim, but it's something to be aware of as a possibility. And again, everything I'm showing you is just a snapshot of what the blend of models is indicating right now. We probably will have some changes before we get to this weekend, hopefully towards the warmer and the less wintry, if you will. Let's switch over to snow. And again, the same applies with the snow. The green numbers, when it pops up, represent the most likely scenario. Those are what I've already shown you. If we do see the thickening of that wedge faster and we get the snow and sleet quicker, then we're going to get more of an accumulation of sleet and snow, and we would be closer to these red numbers. Worst case scenario, northern part of the area, we're looking at 3 to 5 inches. Further to the south, probably 1 to maybe 3. All right, so that's pretty much the range of what we're looking at based on the current model information. And the problem with this scenario is, usually we get something like this, and the next day we get above freezing and conditions begin to improve. It doesn't appear as if that's going to take place here, you'll see that when I get the temperatures here in a second. All right, so that's what it looks like as far as the snow and ice accumulation. Here is a look at the various models as far as snow potential, and you can see more of them are heavier further to the north, which makes sense. That's where the cold air is going to be arriving soonest, and that probably will reach that threshold of that thickness of that air mass quicker to support sleet and snow. And again, this would be a combination of sleet and snow. And notice not really much over the southern half of the area, although again, it is possible we could see some snow if the Canadian is right. It's down in Natchitoches, but the majority of the higher accumulations will be especially north of the Arkansas-Louisiana line in terms of the snow accumulation. And my level of concern with this, I would put, if I were doing this, the weather worry index back when Snowmageddon, I would have put this at 9. All right, I'm going to put this at 6. One thing that's going to be different than 2021, it's not going to be as cold, and it's not going to be as cold as long. So we will probably stay near or below freezing Sunday after all this is gone, and then not warm up above freezing until Monday. So what we get to start the weekend, we're going to be stuck with to end the weekend. So it's very possible that schools could be impacted next Monday morning. Again, it's only Monday. We're talking about something that's almost a week away. This is going to change, but again, just a first peek at a possible scenario on how this could play out. And yes, if we get the worst case scenario on ice, we could see a repeat of what happened. Some of you mentioned the ice storm of 2000, which I was up in Hot Springs at the time. It was during Christmas, even though I was working in Cincinnati, and it was pretty It was amazing. It's amazing the damage ice can cause. All right, this goes to the point that I mentioned and how temperatures will play out. You can see the warm. Again, this takes us out 2 weeks. So this probably will be, since this is going to be taking us into February, models are trending warmer for February. This is probably going to be our only shot this winter for a decent winter event. And you can see the cool down, high Friday 53. Saturday morning in Shreveport, we should be very close to freezing as we wake up. Temperatures will fall during the day Saturday into the 20s. We'll probably end up somewhere in the low to middle 20s Sunday morning. And the European ensembles do warm us up to 40, but the majority of the models do not. And you can see the 24 Monday and the warm up that will happen later in the 2 week period. The red line is normal, the normal high. The blue line is the normal low. So looks like most of the next couple of weeks will feature below normal temperatures here with this big Arctic air mass coming through. This takes us out through Monday, February 7th. Now, the GFS ensembles are much colder. Notice Saturday morning 33 down to 19 by sunset, and then 13 for the low Sunday morning. We barely get above freezing Sunday, so again, we're not going to improve things much. And then 16 Sunday night, and it's going to take a while, even on Monday, to get above freezing. We should make it into the very least the upper 30s, and you can see the warm-up that will follow later next week. Now, I will tell you, too, that with Snowmageddon, the models didn't see the real cold until we were very close to it. So, again, we could see some changes in this moving forward here as far as how cold we get and how long temperatures stay below freezing here early next week. So that's everything that I have. Let me go back and see if we have any any questions here that I need to address. It looks like a big long list. Lee, the only thing I have a couple of batteries that I have that I purchased several years ago that basically that can power a refrigerator for a night or a day. The only issue is recharging them. So hopefully if we do have any outages, the worst case would be the red numbers on the graphic that I showed you. The worst case scenario, it would be prolonged. Not saying that's going to happen by any means, but it's something to be aware of as a possibility. Jared, hello. Again, Stephen, yes, I think I've noticed that. Betty, I agree. We don't need any ice. Let's see. Dylan, I kind of addressed that. I think it'll be Snowmageddon light. Very similar to what we got then, but not as much, and we get rid of it sooner. That's probably going to be the case with this one. And I agree, Lydia, we don't need all that stuff. Okay. Co-front Chris is here. He's excited about the snow. I figured I would see him tonight. Let's see. Me too, Alexi. Me too. Hopefully we get more snow and sleet than the freezing stuff. I did, Ronnie. I did. And it looks like you could get more snow than we will. We'll see. Nobody wants the winter stuff. All right. It is, Jane. It is amazing what ice can do to especially the pine trees. They're like sponges that how much weight can accumulate on just one single branch of those. That's why obviously the branches break off. Donnell, who wants to return to sender? Oh, okay. Well, I'll do the best I can. And again, folks, it's only Monday. The models just started seeing this really yesterday morning. But we have seen the consistency today, so the confidence is growing on this scenario playing out as we're looking at. Are we looking at more, Carrie? Are we looking at more now than last year? We didn't hardly get anything last year, Carrie. So if you're referring to 2021 when we had the big event, I don't think it's going to be as heavy in terms of especially the snow and sleet. We didn't get much freezing rain in Snowmageddon. that could be the biggest difference. We get more freezing rain and less of the snow. Lee, it is possible that it could be. I don't think it'll be quite as extreme as 2000, the ice storm of 2000, but as you saw, models are indicating, worst case scenario that, or at least the blended models is that we could approach the thresholds of half an inch to an inch, which would cause some power issues. More widespread, the more we get, obviously. All right, so that being said, let's take a look at the forecast. I think that's pretty much everything I have for you tonight. And summarize here with tonight, partly cloudy. It's going to be cold again tonight, but not as cold as we've seen here recently. Temperatures will fall into the low to middle 20s across the north. Looking at 31 degrees in Shreveport tonight, 28 in Marshall, and 30 degrees in Natchitoches. Tomorrow looks to be another nice day as we flirt with 60 in Shreveport at 59 degrees for the daytime high. We'll see 55 in Texarkana, 59 in Marshall, and 59 degrees for the high in Natchitoches. I've shown you all the different models. Here's a look at my 10-day forecast, which obviously considers all those. A high weather impact day for Saturday, obviously, as we'll see a rain likely Wednesday, leftover shower possible early Thursday. Rain returns Friday. We see the changeover start to take place Friday night. Area-wide will change over Saturday. It ends Saturday night, and then we'll see lots of clouds, and we barely make it above freezing Sunday, if we do. And so we will see a couple of nights with lows in the teens, easily the coldest air that we've seen so far this winter, on the way to close this weekend and head into next week. Well, that will pretty much do it for me tonight, folks. As always, I appreciate interacting with you. And again, I'll be back tomorrow night with another update on what to expect this weekend. And of course, the new run of the blended models coming in now. I will share that probably during the second half hour of tonight's 9 o'clock newscast on Fox, and definitely at 10 on NBC. So until tomorrow night, get outside tomorrow and enjoy that sunshine. Good night.